Hey everybody, how's it going? Tonight I want to talk a bit about angels and demons. Last Tuesday I was supposed to start the class and I wasn't able. I had the flu and I'm a little bit better now. Pardon me if I eat cough drops and stuff because still not 100%, but I'm working on it. So I hope you guys are having a great holiday season. We've only got about a week and a half, 2 weeks left. It's going to be a very special year coming up. 2026 is going to be pretty amazing. I know a lot of people don't think so, but because there's problems with the economy and there's illnesses, and we've got a lot of problems worldwide. But I do want you to know I really feel pretty good about next year. Um, I just wanted to I think that I could give you a few predictions before we start the Angels and Demons class. I know that since the pandemic, data shows that people are fatigued. Um, you want tangible experiences. Um, I do want you to know that things where people are able to see each other face to face, the interaction is trending now. It's going to be stronger. 2026 is going to carry the energy of returning to your body. People don't want to shop online. They want to feel something. They want to remember something and tell a story about it afterwards. So, even though um, demonstrations, haunted objects, live storytelling, and investigations have struggled some over the past year, they will sell out faster next year. And events tied to folklore, ancestry, and regional identity is going to explode with audience. I want you to know that smaller towns will outperform big cities. Return on investment will show that midsize and rural festivals will dominate higher than bigger cities. Because there's lower attendance, that small town feeling coming from a place where we were isolated during the pandemic. Now we want to have interaction, but we don't want to be bombarded. So I'm really excited about what will happen. I do want you to know I feel that um, mainstream topics for the supernatural will be trauma healing, ancestral work, energy cleaning and clearing, and paranormal curiosity because the veil is thinning next year. I do feel that I do feel that this matters because globally we're all healing. We all suffered through the pandemic and we've all been building back up. So I want you to know that authentic voices are what matters right now. People being able to tell their reality, their truth, have their real reactions, imperfect moments are important. Um, I do feel like independent networks will also thrive. Museum attendance will rise. Oddities, curiosities, histories, that type of thing. Immersive exhibits will thrive. Um, I do want you to know that I do feel that we will be seeing some peace. We will be seeing our circles will get bigger, but we'll be stronger. The people that are in your inner circle will trust you more. You'll trust each other more. And I just feel like 2026 is going to be something we all need. So, for those of you watching, please feel free to go into the comment section because we will be discussing angels and demons. I'm posting. Okay, I posted for everyone. I will also be doing some psychic readings for those of you that are interested. I think that'll be fun tonight. Let's see. I've had several people contact me just trying to get back in touch with them, let them know that I finally figured out how to get on, on here. All right. There's Jane. Thank you. How's it going, Jane? Thank you for being here. Thank you, Gwen. I appreciate you. I hope you guys will let other people know because I had to start a whole nother stream in order to do this because everything timed out from the last one. I thought I could carry it over and it wouldn't let me. So that stung. While I reach out to some other people, I'm going to play a cute little video. Let's see. Here we go. I'll be right back. All right, so we are back. I just thought I would show you my books and remind you that they are on sale. I'm really excited that they've been picked up by some other book sellers. I was just scrolling on Google the other day and there's my book. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's going on? And it was actually being featured on a whole nother, it's called thriftbooks.com. So I was very excited to see that they were on Thrift Books. If you have read my books, please go on Amazon and give me a review. All right, so Gwen is here, Jane is here. I hope we'll have some more joining us. But I'm not surprised if I don't because things have been really hard with being so sick. I hope you guys aren't feeling poorly. There's been a lot of things going around. So let's see. When I talk about angels and demons, you have to ask yourself, where did these things come from? What are angels and demons? Okay, so you have to think about other religions too when you talk about angels and demons. Across the tradition, these are non-physical intelligences. Okay, this goes through the Jewish religion, the Christian, the Catholic, and there's other religions that include demons and angels, but they are not dead humans. Okay, let me make that clear. Angels are not dead humans. They are not ghosts. They are across Judaism, Christianity, Islam, older Near Eastern traditions. Angels share the same core trait that they are assigned roles, not personal agendas, but they are assigned roles and they act in service of order, law, protection, and communication. The word angel actually comes from the Anglos Greek for the word messenger. So angels are known as messengers. There are messengers that give guidance and warning, and the recorders, which have memory. They remember these things that happen in our lives, and they remember the history, and they also have the moral weight of it. Perfect example is Metatron. And then, of course, there's executors, meaning the angels that control natural forces, justice, and transitions. These are often terrifying, not comforting, but there are those that are protectors and very loving. Okay. In the Bible text, it says, be not afraid. When we talk about the Christmas story, be not afraid, because the presence itself is overwhelming. In fact, I was taught that you can't look directly on an angel, especially archangels, because they are just so dynamic that your mortal eyes are not able to take that in. Now, also, I want you to know that angels are not winged people. Okay, those are ideas that came from art and folklore. If you see a beautiful woman that's an angel with wings and look beautiful, that's not really what angels look like. Okay, now demons were not originally evil monsters. Okay, I want to make sure that you know that. The Greek word daemon means a spirit, intelligence, and intermediary force. Only later, primarily through religion and religious conflict and the moral framework of what a demon, a fallen angel became, that it became synonymous with a malevolent being. So in Abrahamic theology, demons are usually described as fallen angels, being that they rebelled against God or deviated from their job. Spirits that oppose divine order and have self will, which creates chaos and domination. Okay. Self will and chaos means that they're not seeking God's will. They have a spirit of rebellion. And that is actually what a demon does. They're tricksters, testers, tempters. They're basically creating an imbalance. Demons don't have horns. Um, that's not how they look. Demons act from ego. They act from hunger, from attachment, from disruption, manipulation, to seek and destroy. So their influence is the opposite of an angel. Where an angel serves a higher purpose, demons serve self or chaos. Angels operate under constraint and they have a duty, whereas demons act opportunistically, I can't speak today, for themselves or for the greater good of the other entities that are seeking their own benefit. Angels do not seek worship, but demons seek attention and fear and control. And oftentimes they will create a feeling, a spirit of codependence. That's why I wanted to do this broadcast, this free class, because I want to make sure you guys know that when you do paranormal activity, how you doing, Mort? I don't think that's your real name, but hello. I want to make sure you know when you speak with a spirit and you are into the paranormal, you need to make sure that you are testing these spirits. And when you do speak to them, don't ask questions about, what you should do, what do you see in my life, that kind of thing, because you could be inviting the input of a demonic entity, or at least an entity that doesn't have your best interest. It might be an entity that's trying to build a codependence with you. And by doing so, they will begin to control you. If you can understand that, please post something about that you understand what I just said. If not, I'll go further into it. I just want to make sure you understand what this means, okay? Um, Now, we'll talk more about how you can test an entity. The main thing is you have to go by what you feel. What do you feel when you're speaking to an entity? I have had feelings I was speaking to a child, and lots of times the entity will appear small, but something about it just feels sick. The sound that I pick up in my ears, spirit ears, I should say, has like a wind chime sound, but it's sickening. I could actually almost taste vomit, it just, that's not, that's not an angel. Fear needs to come from the reverence and overwhelming feeling. When you're dealing with an angel, you'll know it. And please know that angel encounters are rare. They are life altering, and they leave you very clear minded. They give you humility. Sometimes it's fearful, but it doesn't give you a feeling of obsession. That's a big thing, because if you're dealing with a haunting where there's entities that want you to talk to them all the time, they have to be the one in contact with you. They want to be considered. They're building a sense of codependence, and that's a warning sign. It's one thing to talk to entities, it's another thing to depend on them. Okay, demonic entities, I can't talk, sorry. They are repetitive. They drain you. They often dig up unresolved trauma in your life because they're trying to use against you to weaken you. They feed on attention, which is one of the reasons why lots of times the Catholic Church has said, do not entertain the haunting. Ignore it, ignore it, ignore it. And finally, it can get to the point where you can't. And that's when you have someone like a demonologist or an exorcist to step in to help. But this isn't about that, because I could go down a whole rabbit hole about that. But I do want you to know that you've got to be careful. And you need to say, any entities that are not of love and light, you do not have permission to speak to me. And put up your protection. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Angels are correct. They are not always nice. They're usually pretty strong with what they say, but they do restore balance, okay? Demons seduce. Demons are not always dramatic because it doesn't serve them to be. They slowly bring you in. The next thing you know, it gets bigger and bigger. Also, that imbalance makes you depend on them some more. So that's why they do it, okay? Um, you need to give yourself focus and understand whenever you are speaking with an entity, it's more about this the scientific knowledge that, hey, I've gotten evidence that is paranormal. It cannot be explained. It cannot be recreated. This is what happened. And then after that, you need to understand that um, these spirits don't really need to speak into your life. Okay. Now they can speak about their own, because I'm actually doing a series on my show, Serial Killers, Supernatural, and Murderers, which is on Monday nights. And we're talking about ghosts that solve their own murders. And, we've had some fascinating conversations. And Dr. Elliot Van Dusen has been our guest host, along with myself, Gwen, and Blaine Rohan, as we discuss these cases. And it's fascinating because these spirits are actually able to come back and tell people what happened to them and actually help solve their murder. We've got some really important cases that have been totally life-changing for the paranormal field. So I hope you'll join us. With that being said, I want to make sure you understand the difference between obtaining information from a spirit in order to help them and then tracking it back and validating that information, compared to getting information from another spirit about me, about you, about what we need to do. It's okay to get a message, but what you do with that message is very important. All right, so demons, like I said, often echo the traumas in your life, and they'll bring that back up to you. And these are human created thought forms, meaning that this is what you would normally think, but the fact that they're bringing it up to you is another story. That can be a real problem. Oh, hi, Samaya. Hey. Hi, Nathaniel. I sent you a message. Okay, please check the message. Gwen, I see you're in the studio. Come on in if you want to. So we're just discussing tonight angels and demons. And we're talking about them. What exactly is an angel and what is a demon? Okay. We are going to talk more now about how children encounter them differently and why. Because I have experienced an angel and I experienced it as a child. Um, it's big because I really feel like angels do their very best to communicate with us in a manner that we can understand. Adults run everything basically. They run everything through language and fear conditioning and social rules and religious labels. And, oh, this can't be real. This can't be real. So, therefore, it blocks perception. All right. Children operate more in which is called a theta brainwave, which is like an intuitive, dreamlike, take it as you see it kind of thought pattern. And they're more present moment also. So the children are closer to the threshold state, um, basically very closer to the veil, meaning they're more receptive, not so delusional. So adults will immediately have a knee-jerk reaction. That's evil. That's God. That's a demon. But children don't. They're going to say, oh, that's a tall man or that's a bright lady. Like for me, it was the man in blue. And I talk about him in Family Spirits, Four Generations of the Supernatural. And he's the man in blue story. My mom actually also had an experience with the man in blue. And I didn't know it till after I'd written my book. It was pretty intense that she told me that. And it wasn't long before she passed. So I didn't really get to hear her entire story, but what I do know of it, I'm going to write about because I feel like it needs to be documented. Angelic angelic presences have a feeling of being authoritative but calm. You feel completely safe. And that's what the man in blue was for me and for mom. And Mama Jenny also had a very similar experience when she was young. Um, I'll write more about her experiences too in detail, but um, a lots of times angels will come to you and you'll hear very clearly in your head, hey, um, I want to show you what I look like. I want to show you what I look like. So, what could I appear to you that'll keep you from being afraid? So, that's it's very important for us to know that we have the ability to communicate with supernatural, even though we may not hear spiritually all the time. You need to trust your own instincts, and that's so important. So if you are hearing that, what can I present myself to you as? Then that means it's somebody that it's an entity that cares about you. And like take for instance, for my mother and I, it was an angel that wanted to help heal, and it was very caring and loving, and presented himself to be male, although angels are neither. And it's just an amazing feeling. Uh, I can only explain it by saying that it felt like my soul had been washed. Okay. Even though I was super sick, my eyes were burning. They're actually burning now because I've been so sick. And it reminds me a little bit of my experience. But I was hurting all over. I'd had a immunization shot and I was having an allergic reaction to it, and then I also got the chicken pox. So I was really sick and I was terrified because I'd never really missed school. My family's really big on attending school. And so I thought, when I saw 2 weeks of my homework coming in, I thought, "Oh my God, am I going to die?" I mean, it really frightened me. I couldn't understand what was going on. I just knew that I felt horrible and I didn't want to eat anything and I was just aching all over. My mother actually had heart attacks as a child and she would pass out at daycare and they would call my grandmother out of the off work to come get her and she was having, juvenile heart attacks. And so she needed some serious reassurance that she was going to be okay. So those are our experiences, and we have to remember that fear is taught, and that's something that my grandmother made sure that I was taught against. Don't fear. God doesn't give a spirit of fear. You can overcome spiritual things that come to you. Um, Children are often asked to observe things and ask questions. So that's where we are with that in this particular instance. Children want to see what's going on. Um, that's why children can speak so casually about the presences that they see. And they're always, oftentimes, they're not afraid at first. And if a child is afraid, then please remember to listen to their feelings about their instincts and what their responses are, but don't give them a spirit of fear because they'll have to take control of that and take authority over the situation. Something that you need to make sure you can do and your child. Okay. Adults can accidentally shut down by overreacting, by dismissing, or dramatizing it, by making it much bigger than it needs to be. So please remember, when a child is when they encounter an angel, it's probably, for the most I would say 95% of the time, it's gonna be rare, brief. They will be protective or corrective, helping give them, some guidance or protect them. Angels don't linger. They'll do what they need to do and say what they need to say, and then they're gone. And, they don't usually return back every night, okay? Mine came back every few nights because I was still so sick and was still so scared. But my angel did not ask for secrecy. And my mother's didn't either. My grandmother's didn't either. And that's how I was trained to tell if there was an angel or demon present. Now, a demon will repetitively come back. It will be very personal, and they're often focused on fear and isolation and wanting attention and tiptoeing around and being very secret. And they'll often be tied to stress, trauma, illness, and instability. Now, I know I just said an angel came to me because I was sick, but I was praying for healing. And when I saw my angel, I felt I was going to be okay. When you're talking about illness, instability, and trauma and stress, when it comes to a demon, the difficulty with that is that um, it's drawn to the energy that is being affecting a room or a family, a home, or property. And with that, they're there to feed. And then a child is giving more fear, instability, and illness. And like I said, demons are here to kill and destroy. Children don't have boundaries that adults do. So anything opportunistic can find less resistance with a child. So that's why protection matters. And make sure that you know how to protect. Know the religious doctrine that you prescribe to. Know the scriptures that you need. If you are not a religious person, but you're spiritual, know how to clear, how to shield. Make sure that you're don't use words like it's your imagination. Okay. Um, don't don't damage what the child is perceiving by giving excuses. Let them speak to you and understand that they're giving you the best description they can. Go through it with them. Seek more information. Don't seek excuses. Okay, I hope that that makes sense. Um, for those of you watching, I'd appreciate it if you would, let me know that you are understanding what I've said so far. And just a quick message in the chat, and we'll go on. I appreciate you. All right, so when it comes to angels and demons, it's a pretty amazing thing that we have celestial beings. I mean, I find it incredible to think about. I, I think it's mind blowing to think about some entity that's never lived in the flesh that has lots of power and has a job that can speak something into your life. And you know, while I'm on that topic, let me talk to you a little bit about the angels' thrones. It's called the choir of angels. Now, as a child, I thought a choir of angels means they're singing. They're all lined up there and they're singing. Well, that is not what that means. That is not what that means. Oh my goodness. Because, it's in a song talking about choirs of angels. And let me see if I can get you a quick picture of what an angel really looks like, because I want to post this. What do they really look like? Oh, goodness gracious. Um, Here's one right here. And this is not at all what folklore has said that they look like, okay? It's not some beautiful cherub of an angel or a woman with beautiful wings or something like that. Oh my gosh, this is crazy looking. But you'll get the idea of what I mean. Okay, here we go. Okay, well, I'll download that just a second. For some reason, it's not wanting to come up. But here, let me share screens real quick. Here we go. A real photo of an angel. Okay, so that is a real photo of an angel. And that one, this is the description in the Bible. Okay, not that. That is not what an angel looks like. Okay, so that was an easy way for me to show you what they look like. We were just talking a bit about the choir of angels. All right, so the seraphim is the first sphere. Okay, the choir of angels come from the early Christian theology, okay, from the 6th century, and it's drawing on Hebrew scripture, Greek philosophy, and mystical tradition. So this is how all of this is put together. I've got a picture I'm going to try to upload right now. And I hope it's not going to be too small because this is a big picture. This is called an infographic. Well, it says it has to be a JPEG, and I don't have it as a JPEG. It's always my luck. Okay, let me just tell you, and I'll work on this. So the first choir of angels is the seraphim. There's the seraphim, then the cherubim. Let's save it. Hopefully that'll let me open it now. All right. So we have the, sorry guys, the seraphim called the burning ones, and their function is pure devotion, divine presence, and intense, overwhelming love. If you would like to look in the Bible for the description of these, it's Isaiah 6. All right, so the Isaiah 6 describes seraphim. The next one is the cherubim. These are the guardians of sacred knowledge. And this is really important for some of the mysteries, some of the locations that we're just now finding. If you think that, our abilities to find these types of places and these objects of that are so holy and so vast is because we're getting smarter. It's more because we're being guided to them. The cherubim protects divine mysteries and thresholds, um, knowledge, and non-human awareness. So basically, they're going to be helping us know that they exist. They're in Ezekiel. So they guard and guide us. Okay, it says not guide as in guide us, but they allow us to have knowledge revealed to us. All right, the next one is thrones, the angels of thrones, Oranim, barriers of divine order. So these are cosmic law. Okay, they hold systems together. I hope that's making sense. Okay, I've got Isaiah 6, and it says, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." And then it goes down to explain more about these particular angels. And why this chapter matters is because it's the only clear biblical throne room version of a seraphim. The angels do not comfort Isaiah, they overwhelm him. And Isaiah is scared, and he collapses. But it's he's aware he's in the presence of something holy. Okay, do you guys have any questions right now? Okay. What is that? Let's see. Um, yes. Okay, I just got the message, and I will be covering the rest of the I know we're already an hour into this, but I'll try to get it all in here. Let's see if I can upload this now. I got it. Okay, so we have the seraphim, and you can see what the angels, some of them look like on the side. Then there's the cherubim, the thrones, the dominions, the virtues, powers, principalities, archangels. Okay, so starting from the bottom, angels, archangels, principalities, powers, virtues, dominions, thrones, cherubim, and seraphim. A lot of people believe that archangels are the biggest. and the strongest. Now you see the list. So we're going to continue going through them, okay? Okay, so basically this, like I was just telling you about the seraphim, they regulate purity, truth, holiness, and they prevent the collapse of divine presence into creation, and they burn away any distortions at the source, and they act as conduits to prevent humanity from jading the truth. So I find that very important. Uh, the cherubim, they're in Genesis and Ezekiel, just so you know, and they reflect a non-human intelligence. It's not a symbolism type thing. They block, test, and permit. The thrones, uh, they help stabilize cause and effect. So if you have a situation where you have created this situation for yourself, there's a payday for every day. And that's part of um, justice. Okay. If you've created this, then you're going to pay for that. And it's one of the reasons why I've always felt that the Bible says not to seek revenge because vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Okay. The second sphere is the dominions, and the dominions govern creation. So they have administrators of authority. So they oversee the work of the lower choirs, and they delegate authority, and then they prevent tyranny, and they prevent chaos within the angelic order. I'm glad they're there because that's actually what's preventing us from having more uh, fallen angels. Okay. Virtues, the choir of angels of virtues are over powers of nature and healing. Okay. Now walk with me through this. Uh, the angels of virtues are over earth, wind, fire, water, their divine energy in the physical world. They also influence healing and restoration. They govern all of the seasons, fertility, recovery, miracles, growth, natural renewal. Virtues don't heal people directly, but they regulate the conditions that do. So, if you hear of different religions that talk about the earth, wind, fire, water, this is what this is about. Uh, the choir of virtues, the angels of virtues. And this is my favorite choir of angels. And I do believe that we'll be seeing more of these angels in the next year coming. And then we have the powers of angels, and they defend from corruption, intrusion. They contain demonic influence. Okay, so the powers of angels are what is the ones that fight for us. Guardian borders between realms. So that tells you there that anything that is interdimensional can also be governed by angels and protect us. And they act as a like a spiritual immune system, if you will. I'm just trying to, they're defensive, but they're not aggressive. Okay, now you go into the third sphere, and it's the principalities, guardians of nations and people. And I believe we'll be seeing a lot of these too in 2026. They guide destiny, influence cultural direction, withdraw when corruption becomes dominant. So they don't press their agenda. But I really feel like we need to keep that balanced. And I believe that's what I was talking about, 2026. I believe we'll be seeing a big change. And then, of course, the agents of intervention is the archangels. And they deliver major messages at turning points. They announce births, deaths, war, covenants. They talk about history and the direction of shifts. Michael is a title, not just a name. Archangels do not chat or linger. Okay, so just know if you're in the presence of an archangel, then they're going to do their thing and they're gone. Okay. And then, of course, angels. And these assist individuals in limited situational ways. Um, this is including a guardian angel, and they deliver guidance and they protect during specific moments and withdraw once the task is complete. So uh, that's what angels, the choir of angels, are. And when you look at angels, you have to also look at demons because they have their own hierarchy too. Um, that's not often known, okay? And it is true that if you do know a an angel or fallen angel's name, you will be able to communicate with it. And with a demon, if you know its name, you can control it. All right, let me show you what these names are. Oh, we've got some people here. Hi, Diane. I'm from Alabama. Oh, you like my new grand piano, Brandon? I wish I had a grand piano that I could play, right? All right, so here is and I've done this research throughout several different religions. So this is a conglomerate. Because I only had 2 hours to go over all of this, I figured it would be important to give you an overall rather than a full course. All right, so here they are. There's the subordinate spirits, the superior spirits, and then the principal infernal spirits or demons. And you see, they're not all demons are the same, just like not all angels are the same. That's why demons don't want to say their name. Thank you, Diane, and you are 100% right on that. I'm so glad that, I know people that understand and have some knowledge of these things because it's so much easier to talk about and enjoy that kind of conversation. Now, unlike angels, they're described by orders by divine function. Demons are categorized by patterns of corruption and their influence, okay? There's no single universally accepted system for demons, but there's a hierarchy, okay? But unfortunately, we are talking about their level of evil, their level of corruption, their level of influence. How strong are they and how nasty are they? So in Western demonology, they're primarily drawn from the study of Peter Bensfield from the 16th century. And he studied Jewish and Christian text. Okay, let's see. There's Jewish, Christian texts, and then medieval theology that combines this information that has given us this demonic hierarchy map. Okay, so demons do not operate in perfect order. We talked about that, but they do have rank, and that's their dominant sins or dominant tactics, not their obedience. Okay, the power is fluid. Influence grows through invitation, weakness, or obsession, where angels impose order, demons exploit weakness. All right, so the 7 princes of hell. We have Lucifer, and he is all about pride. He's about rebellion and self-deification. He inflates the ego, especially superiority. You don't need authority, you are the authority. It makes me sick just to think about it. Okay, pride is the gateway to sin. Only Once ego rules, the rest follows. So that's where he comes in, creating that type of. God, I know a lot of people that have that prideful evil. And just reading that, let me just read it again, okay? Lucifer is about pride. He's about in, in, inflating ego, specialness, and superiority. You don't need authority. You are the authority. Okay. Leviathan is resentment, bitterness, tunes into the admiration, turns into hatred. Why should they have what you don't? Why should they be blessed when you aren't? So these are the 7 sins, okay? So we had pride. That is one of the we talk about the 7 sins. There's gluttony, okay? Um, there's pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth, okay? And the words to use with those, pride is superbia, greed is avaritia, lust is luxuria, envy is invidia, gluttony is gula, wrath is ira, sloth is acedia, okay? These are not demons themselves, but they're spiritual conditions or tendencies that actually connect to these different demons. The sins are interconnected. Oh, gosh. It's making me kind of sick to talk about it. So, uh, the next one is Satan, and that's wrath, accuse people, rage, vengeance, and that infuses the cycle of anger and destruction. Uh, they deserve punishment. So Satan literally means the accuser. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why we are asked by God, told by God to forgive, because it creates a crack in our soul. Then there's Belphegor, which is sloth, slovenly. Basically, it's a spiritual apathy, despair. It's a paralysis, procrastination. Why try? Nothing matters. You know, it's a depression on a whole nother level. It's very serious because it will completely cripple you. And I feel like everybody has a sense of that to a certain extent, especially when you're grieving, but you have to overcome it because then it becomes something else. Okay, so we talked about pride, we talked about greed, replaces trust in God with trust in material gain. Okay, that's avaritia. And then lust is luxuria, which is disordered or excessive sexual desire, treating others as objects, consorts love into consumption. All right, so yeah, I can see where that's a real problem too, uh, because it creates a compulsion. It becomes an addiction, and it's degrading. If it feels good, it must be right, and that is not true. Um, it's just a temporary solution, and it creates an addiction. I don't mean to preach about these things, but uh, also we talked about ira, which is the uncontrolled anger, hatred, desire for revenge, and the opposing virtue is patience, temperance, and we've so far all the The things we've talked about, the reverse is, okay, for pride, the opposing virtue is humility. When we talk about greed, the other would be generosity or charity. Lust, the opposing view would be chastity. Envy would be the opposing virtue of kindness. Gluttony, the opposing virtue is temperance. Wrath, the opposing virtue is patience. Sloth, the opposing virtue is diligence, remaining faithful action. So, uh, back to I want to tell you more about these demons. I was just going through and explaining what the virtues are that um, counter this. There's Bel Belphegor, that's sloth. We talked about that. Why try nothing matters. Then there's mammon, which is greed. Material obsession, exploitation, values people by utility. Are they good? Are they going to give me what I need? Worth equals wealth. So if you're, someone that is living amongst your means and you're a very simple person, then it can also feel like other people can make you feel like that you're not worthy, that you're not equal to the wealthy, and that is not true. So that explains why that is a problem. Greed. Asmodeus is the next one, which is lust. And then finally, Beelzebub. All right, so the lower demonic orders are tempters. They exploit desire, curiosity, and they're never frightening, and they are most commonly encountered. So remember that if you're being tempted, they're going to seduce you, and so therefore you need to be able to identify it. Then there's the accusers, which makes you feel ashamed, guilty, and hate yourself. And you often have that internal dialogue, okay, of I'm not good enough. And it's often mistaken for your consciousness. Excuse me, your conscience. So that's a problem because there's one thing to want to do something and then something else telling you you shouldn't do it because it's not right. There's another thing to have the fear of, I did this, and so therefore I how do I describe this? The feeling of being shamed, the feeling of hating yourself. That is not the same thing. I'm losing my words here. So, accusers mean to oppress, whereas a conscience means to guide you. There's a difference. Then there's the oppressors. Okay, and I do feel like these go along with the stages of possession. So keep that in mind. The oppressors create heavy fear, anxiety, the heaviness, the draining the energy, and prolonged stress. So by the time you're at that oppressed stage, you've been around things for a long time, and you're getting ready to get in trouble. Then we have the obsessors, which fixate thought, okay? Your impulse, your craving, often linked to trauma. So if you're not healing from a trauma, then this can create a loop in your head and you're going to have a fixated thought. And so it's time to divert those feelings and get some help at that point, because if you're having a prolonged stress where you think that you are putting yourself down and hurting yourself and that kind of thing, then you need to seek guidance quickly. The deceivers, now here's a big one. They often appear as angels, as guides, as dead loved ones, and they use flattery and secrecy, and they are the most dangerous class of demons. Um, angels, um, angels come and then they do their work and then they leave. Deceivers, remember, they always come back, and that's what scares me. Just remember that fallen angels, they're there to they're intelligent, and they rank within these ranks. And the lesser demons, they're opportunistic, they feed on emotion, they attach to people and places and objects. That does not mean that everything that is haunted is a demon. There's a difference, okay? Those are stages of hauntings, and that's for a whole nother thing, and that would go down a whole nother rabbit hole. But angelic presences, remember I told you they're brief, they're overwhelming, they're corrective, they end confusion. You step away and you've got clarity. You know that you've been in the presence of something incredible. Whereas a demonic presence is repetitive, it's intrusive, it increases fear, it increases obsession, and it demands secrecy. Oh, you can't tell anybody. So that's another thing that my mother and grandmother were very, and my father was very important. They impressed upon me strongly that if something is saying, "Oh, don't tell your mother or your grandmother or your father or your friends anything about this," then that's testing it there. Okay? Because if it's demanding secrecy, you better watch out. It's not angelic, regardless of how powerful it may claim to be. So, uh, the most important thing to remember about demons is they cannot create, they cannot heal, they cannot protect. They can only redirect what already exists, and they direct it towards decay and death, destruction. And that's why I feel the need to explain the difference between the two. And that's why I wanted to have this tonight. Okay. All right. So they have shows on TV glorifying these. You're exactly right. Thank you. I'm sorry I wasn't looking. I was actually looking at some of the pictures. Yes, they are. Yes, people are freely engaging in the seven sins. You're right. Also, they do have shows on TV that glorify these. Diane says it stagnates you. That is absolutely the truth. And Samaya says, thank you for pointing these things out and stressing the importance of them. I appreciate your understanding the importance and why I wanted to do this as a free class and to make sure people knew the difference and how to test these spirits to make sure that you are entertaining uh, the presence of things that you intend to and that you're not being deceived. Okay, we have about 30 minutes or so, so I could probably go on a little further. Um, let's see. What do you think angels want for us? Are they trying to do things for us, or are they trying to do things for the overall of God? Okay, now let's dig deep into theology, scripture, centuries of encounter reports. Okay, angels do not want things from us. They are not genies in a bottle. They don't grant wishes. They do not take they don't require emotions from us. They don't protect us from pain, emotional pain. And I hate to say it like this, but I believe 100% this is true. I have never thought that God cared much for the pain that we're in. I think God cares more for our growth. I think that our growth is more important. And these things that I just told you, they are in alignment and in the best interest of alignment so that we can become stronger and stronger as a spirit in the flesh, because that's the whole point of being here. Angels want us aligned, not spoiled. Okay? Um, basically, this means the right action over easy action. So lots of times the easiest path of least resistance is not what's right oftentimes. Integrity over convenience. So sometimes it's just not convenient to do the right thing, but it's important. It's important to do the right thing. Responsibility over avoidance. That one hits home in every way. Angels don't ask, "Are you happy?" They ask, "Are you where you're supposed to be?" Give me just a second. My voice is starting to give way, and my nose is completely stopped up, so excuse me. I'm just glad I could do this for you. Okay, now what angels want for us, they want us to expose illusion. They want us to be able to think for ourselves. They want to strip away false security and collapse self-deception. Uh, when Isaiah saw the angel, he didn't feel blessed. He felt undone. Wow, I mean, he fell, hit the floor. And Mary didn't feel safe, but she felt afraid but obedient when she saw the angel at Christmas. Angels bring truth that can often cost something. Hear me through on that. Um, they want awareness, not denial. And that's a big concern for me because so many of us live in denial. We don't want to face reality. We do want to live in a fantasy world. That is not fantasy is not what's real. Discernment is. Discernment, and oftentimes that comes in a way of a prophetic knowledge. So, and also you need to test your prophetic knowledge too. Well, that's a whole nother. See how many classes can be taught off this one thing? Okay, so yeah, they angels want us to choose our responsibility. They want our angels don't want to override our free will. Our free will is ours. They just want to make sure we're on the right trajectory. You know, are we headed where we're supposed to? Have boundaries been crossed? Are we are we choosing the right things without being coerced to do the wrong thing? Are we confused? You know, do we need help? So they want us to be grounded in the reality of the real world, where we have honest work and moral clarity and stable families and emotional uh, stability and regulation. Angels will put us back into our lives, not pull us away from it. So uh, they want us protected but not cushioned. Like I said, my grandmother used to tell me this, and it'd scare me to death. She would say, you know, they're not really concerned about how you feel, but how you're growing. And boy, that's the truth. So, angels want us to be humble, not special. You know, I think that's I think that says a lot because so many times we want to feel special. We should feel special to the people we love that love us, you know, to our family and our friends. Uh, I think that trying to tell the world how wonderful you are is it's not in the right alignment for what is the best growth for you. So what do angels want? They want what's best for us. All right, now see if I've got anybody commenting here. Oh yeah, of course, I missed it all. Yes, demons look for cracks. Thank you. Dan, I really like you. And yes, they're looking for control. Yep, that's right. In the South, we call it living right. Are you living right? Okay, now what demons want? Okay, they want access. Like Diane just said, they want cracks. They want access. They don't want ownership. They want permission because they want to create fear and obsession and trauma and fixation. They want to create ego and unresolved grief, curiosity without discernment. That's what scares me about the supernatural. Curiosity without knowing and without looking of what it could be. So, attention is the doorway, okay? Getting that attention opens the door, but then coming back and forth through that doorway is the lock. Please watch out for that. And they want fear and shame and rage. They want desire. They want to create an obsession, an addiction. They want to escalate what's happened. They want to make it much worse than it should be. They want to intensify fears. And they want to make you weak. Um, but they want to do it slowly so that it's more permanent. And they want to compromise that rebellion. And just so you know, the spirit of rebellion is actually what is considered witchcraft. That's a whole nother class too. I will not go down that rabbit hole, but just look it up if you have any questions. Oh, I gotta find a tissue. Hold on a minute. Excuse me. Oh, my Lord. Thank you, Diane. All right. So, uh, another thing is, besides a demon saying they want that secrecy, they want you to withdraw, and they don't want you to trust authority, and they want you to feel unloved, and no one else will understand. That is so scary. Not to be confused with mental illnesses, because there are some mental illnesses that say the same thing, but can you not see how some of that overlaps? Um, Barry Fitzgerald from Ghost Hunters International wrote a book, The Influence, and he did the study at psychiatric hospital. And he was able to isolate some of the responses that he got as demonic, demonic influence, and the people were actually being oppressed by demonic influences, and it was causing them to react. It's a fascinating book. I hope you can still find it in print. I highly recommend it. I loaned it to somebody, and I haven't been able to get it back. So if anybody finds it, send your girl a message. I'd love to have another copy. I'd like to be able to find where you got it from. So, demons inflate ego. They'll inflate ego. You're special. You're the one. You see what others can't see. Rules just don't apply to you. And then it goes from that to you're worthless. You failed too much. Nobody has any respect for you. There's no point of even trying. Either way that goes, though, the balance is lost. And so either way, they also gain a foothold. They spread through family patterns, problems, trauma cycles. Those are called generational curses. Cultural habits, objects that are tied to emotion and obsession. Uh, a demon wants you to be tired, not possessed. They want you to be have chronic anxiety, hopeless. They want you to have a compulsion. They want you to feel burned out, not have any meaning in your life. Uh, they do not want grounded people. They do not want emotional regulation or accountability or responsibility. They don't want humor. So if you say laughter heals, you are right. You're right. And it also matters that you know that trauma left unattended will actually create an attraction to more negative energy and more negative forces. And if fear is fed too long, the same thing happens. And then ego without being grounded, again, it creates problems. And more negative energies, negative beings will be attracted to that energy. Now, let's talk about how demons lose influence and what strengthens them, what weakens them. I know we're close to being at the end, and it's a good thing because I'm not going to be able to last much longer. Um, all right, so what strengthens a demon is prolonged fear, having anticipation of dread, having a catastrophic mindset that is ongoing. The obsession with, "Oh, what if? What if? What if?" Or, "This is gonna happen and I can't stop it." Or if you have an obsession or a fixation, like persistently, repeatedly researching demons, or watching endless frightening content, or talking about an entity constantly, or, let's say, withdrawing from family and community, rejecting authority. Um, let's say I am chosen, rules don't apply to me, I know more than everybody else. Or the reverse, I'm worthless, nothing matters. Or unresolved trauma with your childhood, or abuse, or sudden loss. That's where I'm living right now. Chronic instability, it takes away your power. Also, disorder and chaos. Sleep deprivation, substance abuse, extreme stress, lack of routine. That's one of the reasons why demonologists will tell you to stick to your routine and write down when something changes. Write down the time that something happens and what happened and what out of the routine changed, because it helps to decide and figure out when to come investigate, what it may be, what was happening around you when this happened, so they can actually counter that emotion and be able to neutralize that. Uh, another one is, this is pointless. Why do I bother? Why do I bother trying? Nothing's going to change. Also, just so you know that trauma can be called possession, anxiety can be called an attack, intuition can be called voices, and coincidence can be called signs. So pay attention to those things and be careful what you say, because you can be bringing things to you you don't even realize. I'm not asking you to be afraid, but I am asking you to be educated. Anybody have any questions? All right, so Jane has got something for me here. Uh, I have met people who have working relationships with demons and boundaries are set. They are not oppressed, they're not fearful, they are not withdrawn, and so on. Do you think the demon is just waiting for the right time to get in the crack? Yes. Yes, I do. I don't know that there's anybody that can maintain a boundary with a demon. If you are engaging with a demon, then you're engaging your energy with a negative energy. Um, let's see if I can explain this, because I know people that have been able to get information from demons, but you have to ask yourself, why would the demon give me information? Demons are how old, and how old am I? So is that, are they, what's the word? Are they smarter than me? Do they see a bigger picture than me? Probably. And I don't know I don't know that I've ever met anyone that has worked with demons for any length of time without having to pay a price. And in fact, I've done enough exorcisms, and everybody that I've ever had to do a real or participate in a real exorcism with always thought that they, excuse me, they had a working relationship with the demon, largely because they wanted something. They wanted to be psychic. They wanted to be stronger. They wanted to not be sick. They've been taught to do this, so their knee-jerk reaction when something goes wrong is to go back to what they knew before. I don't think that that's I don't think that's safe. If you want those things, manifest it. You know, if there's something that you want to know, like let's say psychic ability, get with me. Let's work on what it takes to be psychic because everybody can do it. Um, People that worked for the CIA during the Cold War that were remote viewers, they were able to see things. That's right, Diane. They have people that obtain things through making a deal. I mean, I sound like Crossroads Demon. I sound like I'm straight out of Supernatural. But the truth is, I met a lady that had abilities and she had made a deal. Actually, more than one. She made a deal with a demon. But she was afraid to go through her exorcism to obtain her freedom because she didn't want to give up her gift. And after she went through the exorcism, she was granted the same ability without having to sell herself. There's ways around everything. And it also kind of makes you think, huh, is what I want really worth that? I mean, it sounds, um, I don't know what's the word, supernatural superiority to be able to work with the demons. Um, I just don't want to, I want them as far away from me as possible. If you look at the number of demons that are in the Bible, based off the number of fallen angels, based off of um, what the Bible says about how many angels there were and how many fell. My husband and I did the math on this. There's 666,666. And if you consider how many demons there are, how many people there are in the world, you know, that's not as many. There's a lot of things that we're calling demons that are just our ignorance. Let's just say what it is. It's ignorance. It's making excuses. Oh, I didn't do it. The devil made me do it. Maybe no. Maybe it's a maybe it's a situation where we all need to work together. So, you guys have any other questions right now? I've lost my cough drops. Let me see if it's behind the computer. Ah, there they are. Ha ha ha. All right. So, do you think it's demonic to do ghost hunting? Is it demonic? My dog thinks she should have a cough drop. You think I should give her a cough drop? Luna, what are you doing? It's paper. She hasn't said hey to you guys, has she? There's Miss Luna. Okay. Diane, you're right. We all manifest good in our lives. You're right. So I'm assuming that you guys don't have any questions, right, Jane? Um, I will tell you, um, that our ancestors that and I'm talking about from an indigenous perspective. I'm indigenous in many ways. I'm Asian, indigenous. I'm Cherokee and Iroquois indigenous. My husband's um um oh Lord, Seminole. There it is. And so in those traditions, and as you know, there how many religions are there in the world? God, there's so many major religions. Plus, there's religions that we don't even know about. So, but in the Native American old walk, families agreed to stay with their descendants for 7 generations. And that doesn't mean that they're haunting their family members. Oh, you're Cree. Well, hi, Diane. Thank you for watching. Is the same with the Cree Nation that your ancestors stay with you? Because when we talk about, I hope I made my ancestors proud, they don't mean it. Yeah, oh, I hope I made everybody proud of me. No, that's not how that. That's not what that means. It means that your ancestors are right here. And they're probably going, oh my God, we went through this. We went through this. Are they going to be able to get this right? And what she's saying is, yes, that is the case for Cree. I didn't know that. I haven't studied so much about Cree, but Iroquois and Cherokee I have. Seminole I have quite a bit. And so I just want to make sure you guys know that there are those religions, also in Philippine religion, that I'm not talking about Catholicism. I'm talking about the original, which is sort of like in New Orleans. There's a blend of Catholic religion plus the Creole there. So we've got a blend of a lot of different religions out there. And so I believe that I have family members with me that are trying to guide me. God bless them. I know I irritate them to death. Hey, Greg. Mwah! So, with all that being said, no, it's not demonic to hunt for ghosts. NASA does it. And we know that Duke University has the Rhine Center. And what do you think they're doing? Besides from trying to understand more about psychic abilities. The psychic ability study, if you want to go and look for declassified CIA documents, you're more than welcome to do it. I'm going to download them and break them down for my next class that starts in 2026. No on the demons. You're going to have to be a little more specific, Greg. I don't know what that means. Oh, yeah, I gotcha. It's not demonic to search for ghosts. Yeah, that's right, Diane. Mine are with me all the time, too. I've had a lot of psychics tell me, oh my God, there's some big dark shadow that's attached to you. No, he's not attached. He's trying to help me. He's called my spirit guide. And he has a name. Um, I have one named Minnie, and she's so sweet. She's Cherokee, and I've got several. I think they have to take turns because I'm quite a lot. So, so I want to make sure that you don't think I'm saying that ghost hunting is for the birds. You shouldn't do it. That's not true. It's not. It can be dangerous, but so can driving to the grocery store. So can getting on an airplane. Okay. Um, Studying psychic abilities can be done from a scientific standpoint. Absolutely. And in doing so, um, you can study from people like Dr. Russell Targ, Targ, who is a physicist that worked with, that's my dog, that's Luna. It's not my husband snoring or something. He's not even in here. That's her grunting and snorting. Sorry. Oh, Lord. Okay, so Diane says that hers is her grandfather's grandfather. Do you know his name, Diane? I'm curious. By the way, Jane, you have a male with you, and he's quite big. He's a big man. He's dark complected like me. I only see his eyes, and I can tell he's a handsome man, and he was human. I'd love to try to find who he may be. I'm assuming he's one of your ancestors, but I haven't been able to tell you that yet. So, heck of a time for me to tell you, right? on here. All right, back to it. I just want you guys to be prepared and yeah, Jane's like, oh wow, yeah, sorry about that. And also, just so you know, Jane, um, I do want you to know that one of the reasons why that you have control when it comes to the spirits that you communicate with is because some of your ancestors had that ability and they're there with you. Okay. Same with you, Miss Diane. Augustus, what a pretty name. So find out what you know and what you don't know. Let's look into it together if you want to. My classes will be starting up. I've got one starting in March, but I will have one before March. It'll probably be in February. And I have a bunch of ghost hunts planned. I hope all of you will come. Um, you know, just oh, it makes sense. Good, Jane. I'm so glad. Oh, Jane, also, there's some things that may have presented themselves spiritually to seem like it might be demonic, but it's actually just a really fierce spirit that was human before. Okay. Um, if you want to dig into some of that, you're with me, you're welcome to, or just ask me questions. I'll make myself available. Okay, so I was going through all of that to say I've got a lot of things planned for 2026. Diane, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. All the classes that I'm teaching are available online as well as in person. Um, I've got, um, let's see. This one is free, obviously, but that's why I wanted to invite you to come for free, just so you get an idea. And I'm doing one on serial killers and the spiritual influence. And we're going to break down some serial killers that have had some type of spiritual, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Oppression, I think I would say, or some of them possession. Also, I'll be talking about ghosts that have solved their own murders. We're going to talk about your psychic connection, and we're going to go deeper into that, developing your psychic type and how to make it stronger. I've got some new um, um, exercises to do that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some on evidence review, different types of equipment, and okay, great. Thank you, Diane. Yes, everybody, please follow me. Um, either on this profile, go to my other one too, please, and follow me. Go over to YouTube and just put my name in and All Access Network Television and subscribe. Help a girl out. We're trying to, work together with All Access Network Television to help all of my podcasters and all of us have a voice to educate and to love each other because knowledge is power. And that's what tonight was about. I know I'm going to be ending early, but I can't help it. I've just got to go. Mm, excuse me. I hope all of you have a wonderful Christmas season. I'm going to make a shameless plug real quick. I'm going to make sure I put this on here. It's a little late, but I just wanted to make sure you guys know that, this is an all access network production and we're not responsible for, the liabilities and all that stuff. Stuff that we have to run because that's what our lawyers tell us. Also, don't forget that on Monday nights, we do Family Spirit International, serial killers, supernatural, and murderers. And we are doing ghosts that solve their own murder. And this next one is a 2-year-old. Oh, it makes me so sick to think about what happened to her. Here's a picture of what we think she looks like. There are no pictures, by the way. And there's her clothes, bless her little heart. And we have a large group of podcasters with more joining. When I played the intro, you saw how many people there are. We've got wonderful psychics, wonderful people that are basically they debunkers. And Nathaniel Elwell just wrote his first book, and it's about cell phone apps and what. Hey Pam. And what these cell phone apps for ghost hunting are like, and which ones he likes and which ones he doesn't, and why. It's pretty fascinating. Let me see if I have a picture of it. I do. It's right here. Downloading for the Dead, investigating paranormal applications. So that's awesome. And I also want to thank Gwen, who's a producer of All Access Network. She runs all the shows. We work together in trying to put as much together as we can for each one of our podcasters. We figure that if we all work together to stream our shows together, it'll create some awesome content for our viewers and help each of our podcasters get out their messages. All right. Well, I guess that's about it. As much as I hate it. I hate to leave, but I've got to. I hope everyone has a wonderful Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And from all of us at All Access Network Television, we thank you and we love you. And don't forget to come watch us Monday night. Bye, guys.